The valley's not really a disconnected island anymore where we can shuttle in stars and starlets. When you follow the money, it comes back to the land.
There's not options for people to buy in, get started, and move up.
Sun Valley over the last 10 years has been dying. And if things don't change, it will continue to decay.
The best thing you can probably do, and especially to mend fences, build the solar.
What you saw was just a cycle of booms and busts based on the mining industry in the late 1800s. The booms happen in this part of the country really fast. I mean, you can drive around Idaho and you know, find a half dozen ghost towns, places where there were once 6 newspapers, 5 saloons, a couple of brothels, and now it's just a bunch of sticks in the wind. Mining begat sheep ranching, and then that sort of overlapped with the foundation of the Sun Valley Resort in 1936, which brought in the rich and famous, and some very good marketing by Union Pacific and Averill Harriman. That was the beginning of what you might call the modern Sun Valley era, which can also be broken down into mini booms and busts. And I think right now, like everybody else, we're in a bit of a bust looking for the next boom.
How do you keep and recruit and house the talent that you need to keep a community thriving? Affordable housing on land that's $4 million an acre. I don't know how you make those numbers work.
There are pros and cons to that you will hear widely throughout the valley. People are worried, well, if you put in a lot of small worker housing there, is that going to become a warren of small worker homes?
The real estate's expensive, nobody's here. You can afford to pay enough for what limited services are offered to you. In order to get employees to come up and work, they've got to pay them exorbitant wages, which means they're charging exorbitant prices, but you're one of the lucky in America that can afford it. Estimates from housing studies that 3,000 people a day were commuting here from outside Blaine County to go to work, and as a result, the people aren't here. If they're not living here, on what is the base? The second homeowner who comes in for 30 days, 60 days at a time. And I think that the service providers in this community would tell you that they're suffering as a result of it.
Cities, municipalities are known for saying we need more creativity, we need more entrepreneurs, but when it comes to stepping to the plate, to giving them a chance, no one gives them a chance.
This is a map of the company town in 1954. Our proposal is to put a new village in this area here, and the goal is to build 8 small passive solar buildings that are set slightly up the hillside behind the shop space on what would essentially become a new main street. And then this is a photograph of the ore mill and the village in 1889. People were living in tents back then. And the foundations for this ore mill are set right here. And so we want to build a bank of either photovoltaic or reflectors that'll produce electricity and run this new pump that we drilled here and pump water back up to activate that tank and the fire hydrants that are already connected to it. There's a 50,000 gallon wooden water tank that's sat right here. And the foundations are still there. We're looking at a new 32,000 gallon either wooden or galvanized steel water tank to go back on this site. And between that and that cement tank down there, we'll have more than enough water for fire supply. On the very shortest day of the year, the bottom circle of the sun just touches the top of that mountain. But the key thing is that it's almost 4 o'clock, it's 3:30, and there's still a whole lot of sun left in the sky. There'll be sun here at 5:30. But the idea here is to create fire protection and a new village, and it would be both a housing and a work environment for young families.
But what a good idea to have solar and use the sun and really use the name Sun Valley. Put the money where the mouth is. Sun Valley.
Yeah.
Using the sun as power.
Right. And your dad did a lot of stuff with solar down in Tahiti. He was a big
very,
fan of solar 30 years ago.
before it was a fad.
Yeah.
Now everyone's trying to go solar.
Yeah.
So this is a no-brainer.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. It's a wide spot in the canyon. There's good light, good sun. It's not a big distance from town. It's just a skip. There isn't room in town to do something like that, not without taking something out. And to go out and find a piece of ground that's got the history, that's got the sun, that's got everything going for it, I think that's what makes it viable.
You're putting in a utility that could benefit the entire community.
Yeah.
And if there's, benefits all around, they'd be less likely to give you beef about using the hillside.
Be huge benefits all around. The main benefit to this is that the very people that showed up to complain, their property values are going to go up.
Why is the fence an issue with you?
Because he's pushing the road this way.
Look, establish once and for all where the is the road.
I agree with you. You got to keep in mind I've been writing them letters since 1989 and nothing's happened, so I'd rather pay the fine. That's the old telephone pole. When they came to replace it, instead of going back in the same power line easement, they were forced to put the new pole right here because all that junk's in the way. And so the fence very slowly and carefully is shoving everything this way. None of this stuff that's here is supposed to be in this plat. It was all written right on the plat that there would be nothing but open buffer space here.
Since the commissioners are going to pay for the survey, something will happen.
Well, yeah, and I'm hoping that whatever they say, everybody is going to accept and put an end to this once and for all.